Welcome to my small YouTube channel that focuses on investing and providing big value. How do you like that? Small channel, big value. All right. Um, so, with that big value and values presented, um, let's do a little quick check on the portfolio, see how we're doing real quick because transparency is one of the values of this channel. So you get to follow along and you get to sweat with me when it comes to investing in these companies. All right. So as you can see, this is the close of market or at close market on the last trading day of last week. We saw some selling turbulence. All right. So as you can see, well, this is a little cut off right here, but I got it reading 5Gs and 7.88% in cash. I did some buying on Friday. All right. And maybe you could take a guess on what stock I bought. Yeah, it was not Planet. It was actually Sofi. So Planet was actually going up and not doing anything. But SoFi started to see a lot of tremendous weakness and started to dip down into the sevens. In fact, it closed in the sevens. I did pick up a good chunk of shares. As you can see, I got 900 shares now. So we'll look into that. Let's look into those buy orders to see exactly what I did. Now that we're done with this, let's see here. Let me pull this up real quick. Okay, here we go. So here's my whole buy orders for SoFi. There's quite a few reasons why I'm starting to lean heavy into SoFi to quickly finish off this position. I'll probably have one more buy iteration, if not two, one or two buy iterations to finish this off. I'm probably looking to cap this at a 10G or a 10G invested capital. Probably looking at maybe 13, about 1,300 shares or so. So that's something to consider. Now, there's a lot of questions on my part, like as far as people asking me about SoFi and what do I think about stock price and what's going on. We're going to get into that into this video, and these are going to be some of the catalysts and why I'm moving into SoFi right now. Right now, documentation as far as their reporting, they are not a profitable company yet. But the CEO, Anthony Noto, has pretty much been proclaiming for several quarters now that Q4 of 2023 is the profitability quarter where they break into profitability. All right, so they're set to. We'll go to Seeking Alpha. We'll go to earnings. All right, and under the earnings tab, you'll see that their next earnings report date is the 29th of January, and that's pre-market. So I prefer pre-market reporting times because they like because those pre-market reporting times tend to be exciting. So they report and you get to see the market react real time. Okay. What do I think is going to happen? Well, I think some of the profitability expectation is baked into the price of the stock. I won't lie. All right. But the actual guidance itself is going to be the determining factor on whether this thing is going to run. All right. And depending on how much it runs. All right. So if they guide down, if they guide weakness, this thing might not do anything. In fact, we might even get a sell-off. But if they guide and say that we're going to maintain profitability or mention anything in reference to that, we probably could see this thing start running. And when I mean running, I mean stock go up. All right. So let's look at some different dynamics of stuff that I'm looking into as far as when I'm getting into these positions, and how I actually do it. As you can see, going back to these SoFi buy orders, what I do is I prime the position, which means I cap it at the closest 100 when I start leaning in. All right. So at first, when I'm building the position, I'm not really so concerned about the quantity of shares. I'm you know, more concerned about deployment of capital, and then maybe some shares. Like if I might say I want to buy $1,000 worth, and fractional trading comes into play, and we might get an odd number on fractional trading. But when I'm getting close to going in for the kill to finish off the position, what I do is I pretty much cap it, and I buy the difference to go up to the first 100 shares. So, I mean, I don't know, I had like, let's say I had like 500 or 600 and something shares, 620 some shares. So I'll just buy the difference to get it up to 700 shares, right? And then my next buy lot, I'll start I'll start leaning in the hundreds of shares. Okay, if that makes sense. So as you can see here, I capped it off. It took about 84 shares and 0.071 shares to cap off to that 700. And then I started getting into the buy lots, and I bought 200 shares, which is a little over 1,500. So that gives my total at around 900 shares. My cost basis went from I think it was like 940 or something like that. Irrelevant now. This is going to change, but I got it down into the eights. Good chance this thing goes down even more as far as my next buy order. So, well, yeah, we'll see. So it will go down more on my cost basis as I buy more cheaper. All right, and increase my ownership. All right. So let's talk about some technicals real quick. Let me just do that. Let me go into this this 1 year chart's good enough. All right. So as you can see, like December 28th ish, like towards the end of December, we were at like $10.30. We had some not revisions from the company, but we've had downgrade from analysts, which are actually questionable. And part of my bull thesis of why I'm leaning into the stock. But yeah, the stock has been being sent down pretty crazy. Let's look into some how low can it go and how low do I think it's going to go. All right. So I'm going to look at the options chain for the options before reporting that's happening on the 29th of January. As you can see, if you don't know how to read options or anything, I recommend you go look at some other video or research how to read options charts. But this is, and then come back, and then you can probably understand more of what I'm saying. But there's a big put wall here at $8, and this put wall is going to put a lot of buying pressure resistance to form resistance. I don't, and you see, there's over 56,000 contracts, um, and I think a lot of those are probably just all going to expire worthless because that's the third trading week, or the Friday of the third trading week of the month where institutions are more involved in selling those options. And pretty much what they do is they kind of like they manipulate the stock and make it to where the options expire worthless so they don't lose money, and they just collect the premium. But that's a little secret there. So yeah, I hope you take that under consideration when you're thinking about doing options. So I don't think this thing's going to get to $7.50. I'll probably, but just in case, I got one more buy order, one more haymaker buy order ready. As long as we're in the sevens, I'm probably going to finish this off next week to my target of over 10K invested, probably around 1,300 shares ish, whatever that lands on. So that's how I can gauge it. Even then, there's another put wall here, not as aggressive as 56K contracts, but in a couple weeks, there's another put wall of $8, but there's a call wall over here as well at 10. So, and over here as well in the 2 week option expiration strikes at 10. There's a lot of resistance there going up. Um, so that's why I think that me personally, I'm in the buy zone for SoFi. I take what the market gives me. Um, mean, I know that last video, I pretty much mentioned that Planet was on my target, but if that stock goes up, then it goes up. All right. And if another opportunity goes down, then I shoot for that. I just take what the market gives me. All right. Here's a little sneak peek at what I think the projection is going to be. And this might be, I don't know if this is reading the tea leaves or whatever you call it. This is just research. All right. So the investor relations on SoFi put out a statement that, and there's a lot of reduction in force going on. There's layoffs happening all over the country. So SoFi addressed this in their investor relations. It pretty much reads, "We conducted a small reduction in force yesterday. We plan to continue to grow our team in 2024 and remain committed to continuing to deliver strong gap profitability and grow tangible book value by doubling down on our most important company priorities." So this, to me, remember, they have not reported Q4 of 2023. They are in Q1 of 2024 right now. All right. And this little hint right here that states, "Remain committed to continuing to deliver strong gap profitability." I'm under the impression that they're gap profitable right now, but it's not reported yet because the quarter Q4 isn't reported yet. And if they're saying they're continuing to grow the team, they did small reduction in performance-based metrics. They pretty much got rid of the poor performers and they're hiring and growing for better performers. So this is a bullish sign for me. All right. So in ISS, I've reviewed all the analyst downgrades and everything. I assess that their bear case thesis is just, it's not intact. There's probably some manipulation stuff happening. Someone handed someone I don't know. I mean, whatever the case is, I got a buying opportunity and I took it. So I hope everybody got value out of this. If you're a SoFi investor and you like this sector or what have you, consider subscribing, because SoFi is one of the stocks in my portfolio that I keep track of, and I mean, so you might get my perspectives on certain cases, on movements, and different theses on bear and bull cases. So anyway, if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. I'm going to try to be posting more frequently on some other companies as well. So with that being said, thank you all and enjoy the rest of y'all's week.